Hello friends, Namaskar. I'm going to uh, start a new lecture series on Python, the basics of Python. Later on, we will be building upon uh, some more things on it. So, to start with, we are not going to install anything on our computer at first. First, we are going to use some easily available free online sources. Later on, we'll shift on to using Python on our own system. So to start with, search for Google Colab. This is a facility provided by Google that is given for anyone who is interested in using this thing. Like it is a Jupyter notebook, you can say, powered by Google. For this, you will need to sign in. If you are already signed in, you will not be shown with this page. You will be shown with the next thing. Let me show you. Once you sign in, you will be prompted like this. So just click on New Notebook. This notebook is a collaborative feature in which we can use both code as well as text at the same time. So first thing I am starting with putting a name to our notebook so that we can identify it. So I am saying it as, let's say it as first class .ipynb. Leave this .ipynb because this is the standard one for a Python notebook. To start with, we can even connect. On the right hand side top, you see here, there is option of connect. When we connect, the Google server allocates some RAM and space for us. So the first thing we do for any coding language is that do a we display something. To display anything in any code like C, C++, we need around 3 to 4 lines of code. But in Python, it is done just with one line of code, print, followed by brackets, and then in quotation marks. I am using double quotes here. We can use single quotes also. Let's start with hello world. And we can just click here and it will give us the output. So this is how we can start displaying some basic things. The advantage with why I have chosen this Google Colab is that we can use text also. So I am adding a text on the top and I am just writing the headings. So heading says, first we are learning data output today. So we are just learning about display. Now the same thing I can do using single quotes also. Both of them are allowed. So, what? You can follow along with me. If you people have some doubts, you are free to ask that in comments. So your first thing, both double quotes and single quotes are allowed. We can put these things as comments if you want. Comment is used is represented using the pound symbol that commonly called as hashtag symbol. Anything after the hashtag symbol in that line will be ignored by the compiler or the interpreter here. So we can use single quotes as well as double quotes. Now let's see. Sometimes we have such things like suppose you have we have to write it's my shoes. This will work fine because it has apostrophe s which have single quote inside and we are using a double quote outside. But what in case we have it like this? And here we are using single quotes outside. In this case, it will show us an error because it will get confused. It will think that the code is stopping here only, the quotes, and then this part will not be recognized. Let's see. So it shows the first line. Okay, it says as invalid syntax. Syntax in programming languages is known as the grammar. So the grammar is not correct. So what is the solution for this? The first solution is easily you can say we will use double quotes there. Okay. So I am just commenting this line. Commenting line does not let it to run. Right. So this is the solution for it that we are using double quotes here. But what if you have double quotes inside? So certainly like print mm, he said, then another double quotes, comma, double quotes, I am fine, right? Such kind of sentences are also there. And if we run this time, this will show an error. The same problem, it is getting confused. So the solution here will be, we can put single quotes here. So it's pretty obvious solution. But what if we have combination of these? Like, see, these two lines are running. But many a times we have the combination of these things. Like, suppose we can say Ram's brother said going to market. In this case, we have both the things. We cannot ignore any one of these. Either if we use single quotes, it will confuse with this. If we are using double quotes, it is getting confused with this. In both the cases, it will give us an error, right? Suppose I do it with single quotes also, it will give us an error. So there is a solution for this in Python. Python or in most of the languages, something called escape sequence is set. Escape character is there. The escape character is simply, let me comment this. Escape character is the backslash. It is located mostly above the enter button on your keyboard. So if you put a backslash here, before the part we want to be skipped, not considered while seeing the quotes, like here, here. And in this case, if we run, we'll see they will run really fine. Ram's brother said, I am going to market. Fine. So these are some things we should see in the basics. Now the next thing is, can we not write more than one line? Because you see here, whatever we are writing is coming in different print statement is coming in different lines. It is because the print actually generates a new line every time. Every time it runs, it adds a new line to its code. We'll see how we can modify that also. So for now, let's see that what if you have to write a paragraph. So do you think that this is the way? Like, hello, my name is aeroponics, and then I live in India. Coding, right? So all of this will be printed in three different lines. But this is not a very good way to write things, to produce things in three different lines. A better way will be if we can do this in a single print statement. So let's see how we can do that. For that also we will need escape sequence, very similar to the backslash one we used. The escape sequence will be backslash n. Backslash n represents new line. So I can write India and here only, right? And now if I run it, it will give me these three things in three lines. So I can write here as a comment that \n is the escape sequence for new line. Okay. Similarly, there are some more escape sequence. I'll share these things with you people. There is \t, which is for tab spaces, you can say. So these are the basic things. Now, every time you are seeing, we are putting quotes. Without quotes, nothing is there. This is because it is string. String is something which contains alphabet, numbers, or you can, in simple words, you can say words and sentences are regarded as strings. What about numbers? Can we print? Let's see. Print. Suppose I am saying 44. Right? It is printing 44. And if I print without these quotes, it will still work. So you can say we don't need quotes for numbers. Now there are something called variables. Variables are some boxes, or you can say some spaces where we can store different values. We will learn in details about variables later on, but for now I am just telling you the basic, that let's say num1, that is one number equals to 45. This will create a variable. So if I run this, nothing will be displayed because we are not displaying anything. To put an output, we need a print statement. So in the print statement, suppose I want to write the thing num1, and it will display 45 since 45 is put inside the num1. So this thing is called a variable. So I can say num1 is a variable. And similarly, just like numbers, we don't need quotes for variables, because if we use quotes, you will see it will not print the value inside it, but it will just print num1. Num1. Fine. So when we use quote, it prints exactly like what is written inside it. So we can say, in case quotes are used, and you can use single and double quotes. I generally use double quotes, but you can use any one of them. It's your wish. In case quotes are used, the things inside the quotes will be displayed as it is. Fine. But what if we want to combine these things? Suppose sometimes you want to combine two, three things, like you have some variables as well as some string, like we did that. Suppose name is a variable, and in that variable we are putting hydroponics, and then we are saying country equals to India. Okay, and then I want to display that aerobonics belongs to India, or aerobonics is from India. For this, we want that name and is from country. Okay, so here name and country are variables. They need not be in quotes, but is from this. These are strings, and they needs to be in quotes. So the solution is we need to put a comma between these things. And you can see I am not putting any space. I am just putting a comma. And it says aerobonics is from India. And it automatically adds a space here. Okay. So we can say we can display combinations using commas. One more thing we discovered is that in such cases, a space is automatically added. So actually we have seen two things. One is a space is added. The other one is a new line is added whenever we put a print. So these two are actually some keywords inside print. Like suppose I am printing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this case, if I print it, it will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no commas because they are not in quotes. If I want to put them in put them in quotes, in that case they will just be printed as they are. But what if I want to replace this comma by something else? For that we have a keyword called sep, S-E-P. That also will put as a comma after this, equals to, the default value is in quotation marks a single space. We are replacing it with, suppose we are saying less than, and in this case you see at all of them, all of the point, the less than symbol is added. We can use comma, it will add comma and space I am putting. It will add a comma and a space there in all such cases. Okay. Now, the next thing is that many a times we need that some calculation is done. Suppose we are saying a equals to 5, print a, b equals to 7, print b, then print a plus b. Actually, we can do mathematical operations directly here. That is also a property of print statement in Python. So you see in this case, a is printed above, b is printed next, a plus b is printed after it. Okay. Suppose you want that these three things should come in line, like after this a, we should not change the line because the print is automatically adding a new line. So we can change it by using end equals to, and then in quotation marks I am putting nothing, and here also I am putting and equals to nothing. And in this case, you will see, though they are in different lines, they all are in the same line. But the problem here is that we don't want, anyone will not like something like this, 5, 7, 12. Suppose I want a plus. So I am putting the plus symbol here and b after that the equal to symbol. And you will see it will nicely represent the equation, though they are done in different lines of code. So apart from this, I would like to tell you people one more way to print the combination of variable and string. Though this way is taught generally when doing the strings, but we will see it here also. For doing that, let's take, we already have a variable called name and country. So we are going to use print, like wherever you want to put the variable, like you want to put the variable name here, you will put curly brackets here, and then is from the string part, then the next variable we want to put. Then after this whole quotation marks, we have to put dot format. This is used to format a string, but it must be followed by the variables in what sequence they will be here. So always remember here the sequence matters. Like here you have to put name, comma, country. And if we run this, we'll see it will give us the same thing. Irobonix is from India. But the way has changed. And there is one more way generally done, print, and then F, that is actually for format only. And then in curly brackets, we write the name of the variable itself. Then is from country. And if we run this, this will also give us the same output. You can choose from whatever way you find easier. This, and it also depends on the situation. So that's all about the data output. We will learn more in the next session. So that's all for the today's session. We'll continue from here in the next session. See you all. Bye bye.